welcome back. Yes, I did record these last ones right in a row. I'm gonna be going home soon, and I realized I might not be able to start up for that save, so I'm trying to get it done before I go home. I'm sorry. Anyways, welcome back to another episode. Hope y'all are doing all right. It looks like we're gonna go talk to the antique guy about the dagger after almost dying to that creature. We're fine, and our arm. Hopefully our arm's okay. The shambler turned out to be much more than an artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins, as a huge creature came out of the painting to attack Pierce. After a hard fight, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Algernon Drake, owner of the nameless bookstore. Pierce decides to pay the library a visit. I don't want to enter the madness. Actually, we should check our sanity level. I wonder if that's changed at all. Blood. Great. Great. I wonder if Cat will turn us in when Fuller ports out the like wanting to get us. Okay. Well, yeah, do we have any more points since no, that's right, we used them all. Sanity. Oh, we didn't unlock that one. We are now so we missed one. I don't know if that's a good thing. It's the disembowelment of Officer Bradley by a man with a monstrous spear. The man groans. Who he erected as a dead Charles managed to strike fear into him. He does not know if he should believe what he saw. He made these visions of horror to the... Oh, it's not a morgue. We found the corpses. Oh, yeah. Am I just making myself more and more crazy? That's because I looked at that. I wonder what I didn't do in the first one. And the second... Oh, that's the second one. Is that the first or the second? I don't know. Oh, it could have been any of the chapters.
Where is the bookseller?
Oops.
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
True. I wonder if this will increase our psychology? No, medicine. That's okay. Actually, how far along are our medicines? And occultism is 3, almost 4. We're almost to 3. I don't know if we just see that much more occultism or if our medicine is that slow. Puritan colony, led by Reverend John Wickwood, settled on the island during the 17th century. They named the island Darkwater because of the dark shades of the sea. They believed it was because of the peculiar color of the rocks surrounding the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were the Hawkins Manor, the church, and the cemetery. The rare documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviors. They disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century. Because that's not terrifying.
An old diary.
Oh, the pastor's wife. The pastor declared himself to be the prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to this voice in his head because it holds the truth. Right, we read part 3, I think, earlier? Interesting. Odds and ends. Did I walk through this? Medicine. Even a few years back, it was possible for a single practitioner to know all the medical knowledge of his time. This book, which concludes the series, shows that this is now virtually impossible. About 10 renowned doctors took part in putting together this collection. So now we're 3. Nice. Okay. Okay. anatomy. Oh yes, please boost up my medicine. Creepy. I wonder if we could max out all of our stuff by the end. Do you also see that? Because I see that. More anatomy. Strong heart of the detachment part. We don't need to keep reading those. Wait, so before we do that, is there more?
What happened here?
Here. It's hard to know what's gonna cause what to happen next.
Let's start over.
Okay.
Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work.
Okay.
To whom does this footprint belong?
That is the question.
This burglar seems to be rather clumsy.
Just in case. Okay. Rather clumsy because he broke it?
What killed all these animals? What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work?
Oh, are we gonna have another vision because we
What
looked at
the-
that, or?
Charles Hawkins? Looks like the symbol rejected Hawkins. Where did I see it? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe.
It's gonna reject me because the thing touched me, isn't it? The scrambler. Ooh.
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in
We're
here.
malfunctioning.
Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
We're malfunctioning.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
If somebody finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still in this plane of reality, in order that they be recovered and burned. The funeral urn must be given to my dear mother, if she is still of this world. The following message is of capital importance. Whoever reads these lines demonstrates acuity as sharp as mine can hope to gain access to my most precious possession. It lies within my safe, and the clues to the combinations are to be found in 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek world. Each cylinder is numbered, even if, as the celebrated author says, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of the imagination. Indeed, despite my preference for organized chaos, I must admit that reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance a person, or should I say a genius, was to match my intellect and find the combination of the safe, I would ask that they deliver its contents into the safekeeping of my friend and colleague, Professor Armitage of Miskatonic University. The content of the safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon that is far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. I hope that you'll be able to appreciate the danger that this represents, and that you will act accordingly. In any event, I will neither be there to guide you nor to suffer from your actions. So by all means, have at it.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping
See?
pills?
I'm glad you're finally starting to see what I said.
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
This key that bears the Elder Sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion, hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star and the branch whose purpose is to push back the forces of the great old ones were engraved at its center. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from its last owner, an Egyptian antique dealer, and press cuttings that mention the misdemeanor. The date of the robbery coincides with the last of Hawkins' trips off to Cairo. It remains to be seen whether he knows the true purpose of the fact. Try to find it. Yeah, no poop. It'll protect us, maybe. Oh, I'm not that confident yet.
Arkham editions. Never heard of them.
A collection of essays on American folklore and urban legends written by Albert Wilmarth, professor at University Design Treaties and Works. Okay.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
This is part of the Arkham anthology.
Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions. Never heard of them. How many volumes are there in this collection?
Oh. Okay.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
This is how we're gonna have to figure
Arkham
out.
Editions. How many volumes are there in this collection?
This is how we're gonna have to figure out the code. Okay.
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
Okay. Good. Can't leave. Oh. Yeah, I guess we could turn this on. I don't know if it'll help any. Hold on, before we do that. 19th century, as the American whaling industry reached its peak and in the rest of the world, whales gradually disappeared from the water surrounding Darkwater. This phenomenon appears even more mysterious because up till then the region was a favored refuge for cetaceans. In 1847, after months of pursuit, Taylor returns to port with a gigantic creature on board. Its crew asserts that the sea monster had eaten all the disappeared whales. Just combat the stars, Master J. Okay.
Things are not looking good.
I wonder if the light changes our ability to see anything. No. Do we just listen to the two we have? It's 1 and 3, which means there's a 2.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
These Tibetan writings are at the origin of the esoteric movement founded by Helena Blavatsky at the end of the 19th century. The creator of Theosophy would have drawn extensively on the text of this work, but no one has ever been able to consult them. I thought they didn't exist. This book could be as much a fake as okay. Would you read the book? I feel like we're committed at this point. Just do it. We'll just take all of the madness.
Unholy knowledge.
Yes, affected my destiny. I'm gonna let Cthulhu loose at this point. This collection catalogs and classifies creatures that I have never heard of. Divinities from the stars, creatures capable of traveling from one dimension to another. It presents itself as the reference work on the bestiary of the myth without giving details on the mythology to which it refers. The page covers phantasmagorical illustrations. We're either gonna not release them because we know everything, or we know too much and are gonna unintentionally release him. Because, right, if we don't know enough, that could cause us to unintentionally release him. But it could also be what keeps us from madness and releasing him, so who knows? I'm not sure. I feel like we're not supposed to know this much. Where did the thing... Oh, here it is.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
Okay.
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me.
Okay.
Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Okay. Before we forget, so we have 9. There's
Drake talked about a particular volume.
not this one.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
That's not...
What did Drake say about this collection?
He wants 9. Is this 9? No. 1, 3,
Drake talked about a particular volume.
2. Yes, he wants 9. That's 7. Is it this one?
So these are the volumes that Drake
Yes.
was talking about in
That's
his
8.
message.
Is that how you do 9?
What did Drake say about this collection?
It must be this one. Okay. That it was relevant. To his research. Also known as the Nightmare Lyrics, this collection of poems was sensationally received when first published in 1908. Derby was only 18 years old. This volume is part of the... We have 1908 and 18. And then we have the chessboard.
The Queen has little protection.
Does she have any protection at that point? Or are we just talking about these guys? I mean, she has 3. What was the first one?
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Well, that's 3.
The Chalice of Knowledge.
Very ancient. It seems to be made of gold and decorated with real precious stones. Do the rubies and sapphires make up a specific motif? What does that mean? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rubies. 539. Let's listen to what he said about the...
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Did it work? I did! Okay. I don't think we're a genius for figuring that out, but that's okay. Oh, he's taking it out. I don't know if we should. Oh no. Oh no. Ah! We're so gonna die. I know too much. I can feel it. Oh no. Oh no. I wonder if the guy is dead. I hope not. I hope he's okay. Otherwise, he's probably been committed to that hospital. Oh. I mean, this game's really good. I've been really enjoying it. I still think Francis's wife, Irene, is the best looking of all the characters we've seen so far. Charles is just freaky. Charles is just freaky. The whole atmosphere is freaky. All of the green, the like creepy green. Like what's happening and some of the things aren't really scary, but the atmosphere keeps it spooky. And just the constant feeling of dread. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, morning, evening, afternoon. I love you all. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.